Let's get it. It is time for Shots and Ladders, your home for gambling, drinking, and degeneracy. Oh, we are back in the garage after a tough week one and then a week two where we weren't able to film an episode because I had to go to a funeral back in my hometown. So that was unfortunate, but we're back for week three, and I'm honestly just pumped to be here. How are you feeling?
It's good to be back. I'm excited to be back. We took a rough loss yesterday. Hunter Henry is on my forever shit list.
Fuck that guy. Check the Twitter page.
It hurt.
Connors and I are both, we're going to be posting touchdown parlays and different bets on there that we're doing just in case you want to tail. And last night, in a just devastating
brutal fashion. I mean, you want to talk about just something that hurts the soul.
Devastating.
7-leg, same game parlay. Everything's looking good by halftime.
Jets,
I'm on the phone with you. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
Yeah.
$100 with $1,000, and everything's looking good. All the overs are hitting that I need. They're not scoring touchdowns. Everything's going as good as it could. It got down to the end, and Hunter Henry over 2.5 receptions with the very last leg of the parlay. And with 3 drives left, they go down. Patriots are driving. They throw the ball to Hunter Henry. Catches it. Goes out of bounds at the 5-yard line. I'm like, holy shit, I just won $1,000. And then they call it back with a holding or some bullshit call.
Stupid
which,
shit.
I mean, it was definitely, I remember it being a penalty. But, fuck that for messing with my bet. And then next drive, takes a little, Jacoby Brissett goes out. He's under pressure. It didn't look like the play was a designed tight end screen. But that's how the play ended up because of all the pressure. Goes, hits him in the hands, fucking drops it.
It was a little low. It was more like in
it.
the knees. But
he's a professional athlete getting paid millions of dollars a year to catch the fucking football, and he drops it and subsequently dropped my parlay. Then the next drive, they got another chance. Bring in Drake May. I'm like, holy shit. Rookie quarterback. He's going to be throwing his check down.
To the tight end.
Throwing to tight ends, throwing to running backs. I was like, I'm alive. I'm in. There's 50 seconds left in this game, and I've got a fucking chance.
Right.
Who's not on the field? Hunter Henry. They got all the fucking backups in, dude.
Austin Hooper, I think it is.
Austin Hooper, which in his own right, dog.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry has been the life force of that offense through the first 2 weeks. It's him and Ramondre put up less than 1 fantasy point.
On my team.
You want to talk about just an absolute dud. And then Hunter Henry came in for like 2-3 plays. They never even targeted him.
It was such a tease because they have Austin. They have the whole second string offense in. We're like, it's done. It's over. It's over.
And then they
bring in Hunter Henry. And he was open like a couple times, and Drake May just wasn't even looking.
He was open in the end zone.
Last play, Drake May gets sacked. They could have called the timeout, tried to hit the tight end, big body across the middle.
Give Drake May some confidence, getting his first touchdown, being the first rookie quarterback to throw a touchdown despite him only starting 1 drive would have been huge for his confidence. You want to talk about something that's going to immediately hype someone up? You come in and you take over the team on the last drive of the play, and you
score their only touchdown.
You score the only touchdown. You score a touchdown before Jaden Daniels throws one, before Caleb.
Oh my God! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no
rookie has thrown a touchdown pass. He put in the first one despite only having 1 drive. What would that have done for his confidence?
God,
his confidence would have been. Gerard Mayo fucked it up, and it killed my soul a little bit. But we're going to make that money back right now because that sucked.
It's a good day for gambling.
I'm over it, but I'm not. Fuck you, Hunter Henry. Fuck you, Gerard Mayo. I'm never picking Patriots again.
Yeah, already didn't like the Patriots. Started to not hate the Patriots because they're not good, which makes it easier to not hate them. But this was it was such a brutal night. Hitting every single leg of the parlay and then just missing Hunter Henry by 1 catch when he had
going into the fourth quarter, every single leg was hit besides that and the under at 4.5 touchdowns, which felt like an absolute lock going into it. The fumble recovery when the Patriots coughed it up at like the 20-30 yard line and gave the Jets the ball, that one hurt because I was like, okay, this is a guaranteed touchdown. That's an entire drive that Hunter Henry is not going to be able to catch the ball. And that was really the only leg that hadn't hit yet, those 2 that I was waiting on. And so it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good, but the under on the touchdowns ended up hitting. It was just Hunter Henry couldn't catch a ball that was at his knees despite getting paid millions of dollars to do it. I mean, obviously I dropped that pass, but you know how much they're paying me to catch it? Nothing. You're paying me $1 million for it. I'll find a way to catch the ball. Hunter Henry, get better.
Get fucked.
But yeah, fuck you. But we back.
Other than that, with the
We
game,
back.
yeah, Jets.
Week 3, NFL.
We are
week 3.
NFL. Jets look good. Aaron Rodgers looked phenomenal. That's all I'm gonna say
Brees
about
Hall, certified dog.
it. Yeah, don't need to talk
Alan
anymore
Lazard
about it.
is surprising me.
Really good. Braylon
He's-
Allen.
Yeah. Braylon Allen's a dog, but no, Alan Lazard is surprising me. He's been someone that's been in the league forever. Obviously, he had the connection with Rodgers before they came to New York, and because Rodgers brought his entire New York crew over to, or his entire Green Bay crew over to New York, and that was really the one that stuck over time, despite him not playing. And he's looking like a certified number 2, borderline number 1 option. Garrett Wilson obviously has all the traits in the world, but Lazard is getting just as many targets and just as many looks from Rodgers as Garrett Wilson is. Obviously, Garrett has a higher ceiling, but I think Lazard is honestly becoming a safe fantasy floor play.
If you look at it, like I had said was going to happen, like first half, Christian Gonzalez was covering Garrett Wilson on 90% of his routes. And Garrett Wilson had like 17 yards. I don't think it was a Garrett Wilson problem. I think Christian Gonzalez is just a lockdown corner. But I don't want to talk about that game too much because
we're over it.
It wasn't a great game.
Great win, Jets.
Yeah, good.
You got out of there.
But it was just
Rodgers is back.
Kind of boring, wasn't super fun. But what we do have coming, and we're going to be posting this episode on Saturday the 21st at noon. Today it's Friday, but so tomorrow, from the time you're watching this, tomorrow is Sunday football, week 3. Week 1, we thought we knew what we were getting into, and we didn't, but we got eyes on it. And when you get eyes on it, now you know. And then week 2 comes in and smacks you in the mouth. Gamblers across the country, the overall public got annihilated. If you won money gambling week 2 of the NFL season, you are among a small percentage of people, and
you're either the sharpest bettors or the stupidest bettors.
Really bad.
There's no in between. You're either the best bettor or the worst bettor because most bettors lost. Of the 10 most bet games, 7 of them went against the public.
Mm-hmm.
So the only ones that won were the Chargers -5, Commanders -1.5, and Jets -3.5. Every other heavy bet game ended up losing last week. It was a week to pick underdogs. 6
of them where 70% of the money was on one team. The other team won.
Yep.
It's like the sports books just
they ate money. They were fucking eating money. They're printing it out there.
But you know what?
That's what we're taking it back from them. We're here to take back money.
We are. And week 3 is going to be a good week. I think we got a better idea of what's going on. A lot of injuries. A lot of injuries.
For only the week 3 of the NFL, the injury bug is out and about. It's eating some teams alive.
Let me ask you this before we get started. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think, because right now there's more touchdowns or less touchdowns scored than field goals through 2 weeks?
You're the kicker.
And it's never happened before. Do you think that trend is going to flip?
I 100% do.
Do you think it is week 3? Or do you think it's going to...
I don't know if it's exactly week 3, but I guarantee you by the end of the NFL season, it will flip around. So that's one of the trends with the way that NFL teams have been doing the preseason. You look back 10, even 5 years ago, teams are playing starters at least one full game. Not a full game, but a half of a game during the preseason. Probably the first half of most NFL games. Recently, you're seeing so many starters not play the entire preseason and then just come in week 1. It doesn't matter how much practice you do when you're not getting hit. Going out there week 1 in the NFL is going to be different when you're getting hit. You're having these 6'6", 300-pound defensive linemen slam on top of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Receivers are actually getting shut down. The game's just so much different when you're actually in game mode rather than practice mode. The teams that aren't practicing are going to come out with a slow start. And it's a questionable coaching decision. I mean, so Bryce Young, already benched, didn't play any during preseason. They kept him on the bench the whole time because they already thought he was good to go. Yeah. But he doesn't have the practice reps to be able to good to go. I'm not shocked at all that he did bad. I was hoping for him to do good. I like Bryce Young.
Right.
But the Panthers did not put him in a position to succeed. They didn't give him the reps in the field that he needed before he came into a week 1 matchup when now the games count and he's still practicing. Mm-hmm. Think about all the backups that are playing that they're already in game mode. They've been practicing. Yeah. They've been playing for a month now. And these are these guys' first 2 games.
It's dumb. I think when you see like Kansas City is playing Patrick Mahomes and the entire like their entire starting offense for like the first quarter and a half in like almost every single preseason game. It's like, and you're the Carolina Panthers. You're looking at the Chiefs doing this, and you're like, you know what? I think the Chiefs are wrong. I think what we should do is bench all of our starters for the whole. Don't play anybody. It's just like what?
Which is hilarious.
I don't understand it. But
Nothing that the Panthers do is good. They're looking like one of the worst NFL teams in history through 2 weeks. Obviously, there's lots of time for them to turn it around, and we'll see what happens. But it's not looking great.
No, it's not looking great for the Panthers. There's a few teams that we didn't think it was gonna. We would think it would be looking better at this point. One of them happens to be the favorite team of my wife, which makes life for me really hard. My wife,
Baltimore Ravens.
Janie is a diehard Baltimore Ravens fan, and I mean diehard. So when I met my wife, I watched NFL football. I was kind of a Broncos fan because that's the way I was raised, but I didn't really care about the NFL. I watched college football religiously, and I watched high school football. I loved football. But I meet my wife, and we start dating, and she is a diehard Ravens fan, knows every single player on the Ravens. This was back in 2019, 2020, but she knew every player on the Ravens. She knew every single coach. She watches the fucking press conferences and watches –
diehard fan.
It's just ridiculous. That's like the reason that I got into the NFL the way that I did. And her mood, she's like a Steelers fan or like a Jets fan, but even though they've mostly been miserable, but I think that's part of the reason why New York is such a miserable city in terms of how people treat you. Her mood is with the Ravens during football season. When they're losing, she's losing. And it's fucking terrible. I mean, the Ravens were not supposed to be 0-2. They're not, and they are.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
obviously, we drink a ton on the show, and we're going to support drinking. After a Ravens loss, you guys have never seen someone pound tequila like that.
No,
it's impressive. My liver hurts, and I'm a certified borderline alcoholic.
Yeah,
and my liver hurts when I watch it. So
she gets after it, which is
it's impressive.
It is.
I'm genuinely impressed every time it happens. But I guess we'll see if it happens again this week.
Need a Ravens win. What do you want to do, Con? You want to get it started? You want to start going through the week?
Let's do it. Let's go through a couple of these games here. I guess we can start off with the 1 p.m. slate, 11 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Broncos.
Yeah.
+6 going into Tampa Bay.
Tough.
You want to talk about a team that's looked good.
God,
Baker Mayfield is a certified dog. He's gone out there. He's the number 1 fantasy quarterback in half PPR. And he's putting in half and full. Yeah. He's putting the team on his back.
I guess PPR doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I guess not. I just said that because that was our league.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm the fantasy expert. He knows nothing about it.
Our league's full point PPR. Mine in your league?
Oh yeah, that one's PPR. I'm in 7 leagues. So
yeah, that's tough.
I run another one. I was thinking of the other one, but
anyways, yeah, he's number 1 quarterback in full point PPR.
He's not for throwing dots, but Chris Godwin looks amazing. Yeah. Mike Evans is as good as ever.
Yep.
Their running backs are doo-doo. Rashad White does not look good. Bucky Irving, who's looked better than Rashad White, also does not look good.
Yeah.
But they haven't needed them. They haven't needed them. Baker Mayfield's just going out and putting the entire team on his back.
Dog, dude. It's so fun to root for Baker. Too.
I love Baker. I loved him coming out of college, and I was so sad. As a Steelers fan, I did not want him to go to the Browns. They took him. I was very upset because I wanted to root for him. My old boss actually named his kid Baker for Baker Mayfield because he was such a big fan. But I'm glad he's turned it around. I'm hoping that Bryce Young has the same luck. Carolina is the new Cleveland as far as just where quarterbacks go to have a mid-level season before they go somewhere else.
To play better. It's like that.
Sam Darnold did it. Baker Mayfield did it. So many quarterbacks recently have been going to Cleveland and then leaving and having all this success in the world. And I'm hoping the same for Bryce Young. And I'm glad that it's happened for Baker.
What's that movie called where it's like Good Luck Chuck, I think. Right? Have you seen that? Where
I have not. You know me. I'm not a big movie guy.
I'm not huge either, but this guy goes or he finds out that he has this thing where every time he sleeps with a girl, that girl meets the love of her life immediately after. So like after a girl sleeps with him, the next guy she meets is the love of her life, soulmate, gonna get married. So he's like, good luck, Chuck.
My dating history.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you kind of are good luck, but that's like. So the whole movie's based around him, like just sleep. All these girls want to sleep with him because they'll just sleep with him and then meet the love of their life. But anyways, it's like the Panthers. You go. Sam Darnold went to Carolina, and then
the next team he goes to.
Yeah, now he's fucking looking at like an MVP at the Vikings, and same with Baker Mayfield, and it's just a revolving door of people leaving Panthers and looking great. Cam Newton left the Panthers, and now he's an internet savant. With all
it's not immediately though. I mean, he had a terrible stint in the Patriots. Darnold had a bad stint in San Fran, but quarterbacks go there to die and hopefully have a career resurgence.
Hopefully get revived for sure.
One of the biggest things for the Bucs that I'm worried about is we were talking about earlier the injury bug. So star safety Antoine Winfield not playing. He's out. Star absolute stud of a defensive tackle in the conversation for best defensive tackle now that. Aaron Donald's not playing. Obviously, you got Chris Jones up there, and then a couple guys fighting for second. And Vita Vea's up there. Yeah. He's an absolute ball monger. He eats up like 3 defenders every time he rushes the quarterback because he's such a big, strong guy. He's doubtful for the game. He left last week with an injury.
Really? I didn't know that.
And Denver coming out. Bo Nix has had a rough couple weeks. Obviously, that's going to happen against the best defense in history.
Oh my god!
But them being able to run the ball against the Bucs is, I think, how they're going to be able to keep it close. It's in Tampa Bay. This over-under is 41 points, so it's supposed to be a somewhat low-scoring game. And a lot of times in low-scoring games, I like to take the underdog with the points, especially if it's 6 points. The spread has actually moved in the Broncos' favor. It opened up at 6.5 points.
Just a half a point.
But you want to talk about where the money's at. So money line bets. 89% of the money is on the money line for the Bucs. 81% of the money is on the spread for the Bucs, minus 6.5, which is where it was when they released these numbers.
That gives, I mean, it depends on how you want to play that. If you want to think, well,
is Vegas trying to win money or the sharp bettors trying to win money? There's different ways that you can interpret every stat that is ever released about gambling.
From my perspective, based on what I've picked and what I think is going to happen in this game, I think Vegas, you want to think, because Vegas did so good last week that this week is like a comeback week for the public. I think week 3 is another public gets shit on week. I like Denver here with the points because I'm kind of with you. I don't see it being a super high scoring game, and 6 points in the NFL is a ton. And Bo Nix he's coming off of playing the Steelers. Tough D. Going from the Steelers to now a Vita Vea-less Tampa Bay Buccaneers team.
Yeah.
There's a good chance he's a lot more comfortable. It's like if you're snowboarding and you're on a double black diamond. If you're struggling on a blue diamond and then you go onto a double black diamond, you just get your shit kicked in. And then you go back to the blue diamond and you're like, oh, this is easy. It's like, yeah, he just got his shit kicked in by the Steelers. Everybody's going to get their shit kicked in by TJ Watt. But then you go to a Vita Vea-less Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I don't think they're going to win. I don't think Denver's going to win. I don't think Bo Nix is going to have like a coming out party, but I think he's going to look a lot better.
I think he's going
to... Is Antoine Winfield Jr. back?
No, he's out.
He's out? Yeah.
He's out.
I like the points with Denver.
I'm going to take the Bucs, minus 6.
You were...
I was giving arguments for both of them. This is one of those games with the... Yeah, I did. So with the spread, this is one of those games where I think if it's in Denver, in Mile High Field, with that exact spread, I think I would actually take the Broncos. The spread feels really good. The 6-point spread feels like exactly what it's going to end up at. I could actually see this game ending up as a complete wash. I could see the Bucs winning this by exactly 6. Yeah. But because it's in Tampa, I'm going to give the edge to the home team. Have them try to come out here and take a win. Over under 41.5. I genuinely think that the Bucs are that good of an offense that they can come out here and score 30 to 32 points.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring points for them, so I'm actually going to take the over, expecting that Bo Nix and the Broncos. I almost said Zach Wilson. Bo Nix and the Broncos can come out here and at least score 10 to 15 points. I could see a Javonte Williams touchdown pretty heavily with Vita Vea being out.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks had someone else on the defensive line that was out too. Elijah Cansey's out too. He's a rotational guy. Nothing to be concerned about. Also out for the Broncos though, JL Skinner.
Huh?
Familiar with him?
The name is he's offensive lineman. Absolute dog guard, isn't he?
Knows nothing about ball.
I don't know the Broncos that well. Broncos have a dog guard. JL Skinner must play for the Boise. Must have played for the
Boise State. JL Skinner, absolutely
That's
stud
right,
of
bro.
a safety.
Fuck, my
Absolute
bad.
stud
Damn
of a
it.
safety.
Damn it.
He's not a starter, but he's a backup safety, stud special teams player, and Boise State alum.
Boise State.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Damn it.
My bad. I knew you didn't know who that was, and I kind of walked you into that one.
The name JL Skinner sounds so familiar, and I remember that distinctly because at the Broncos tailgates, all the people that like have tailgate spots do like the trading cards. And one of like the big trading cards for the Broncos like 2 years ago was the JL Skinner card because he was such a dog.
I have one.
Do you really?
I do.
Yeah, so the name
I
the
do
name is
have
familiar,
one.
but what I was thinking about was the Broncos have like a big white tatted long-haired tackle or guard, I think on the right side. That's just a dog. At least he was last year, just a dog. Like he was featured on the Pat
Denver
McAfee show.
or
Like Denver.
Boise.
Denver.
Oh, I'm trying to think who you're thinking of.
I can't remember.
Because Ryan Clady was the best NFL player in my mind. The best NFL player to come out of Boise State ever.
This
was
guy
Ryan
didn't play
Clady.
for the Broncos.
Okay,
But
that's
he
who
was
I thought you were talking about. I was like, he retired many years ago.
Some white, long-haired, tattooed covered.
Cushenberry? No.
No,
Who? I don't know.
I don't know. We can
Yeah.
find out later. But he was a dog, and that when you said JL Skinner, and it's like that's the kind of name that goes with a guy that's a right guard that's tatted and long hair. It's like that's a badass guy's name, because JL Skinner is badass. But
McGlinchey? Mike McGlinchey?
it might be Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, he was a signing from the Niners 2 years ago. Stud. Absolute stud. The Broncos have a great set of bookend tackles. They got Garrett Bowles on one side and Mike McGlinchey on the other. That's a
I think
stud.
it is McGlinchey. Yeah.
And that's who I would guess you're talking about. But yeah, I just wanted to take a shot and I was fucking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I love it.
So
yeah, that's what we do. Take a shot every time a Boise State Broncos player is mentioned. So I got Denver with the points, you got Bucks with the points, and then I have the under, you have the over. I don't know if you heard me say
I didn't hear you
I don't
say
think I
that,
said it.
but I have the over. So.
I like the under in like 90% of the games this week. Like for me, a good singles bet on every single game would be the under.
Really?
I think just the way the game's being played this year, the way it's just field goal mania. Quarterbacks don't look great. Offenses don't look great. I think that's going to
But now
slowly...
offenses have had 2 weeks to warm up.
I know. I think that's going to slowly like start to even itself out. But right, like this is another week where then there's some of these games that are super high for no reason. We'll talk about that when we get to them. But
Very much so.
Giants at Cleveland Browns. This one's a barn burner. I wonder what when they show like the ratings of a game and it's like how many people watched a certain game. When you have this many games going on the 1 p.m. Eastern slot on NFL Sunday, how many people that aren't Giants fans, diehard, or Cleveland Browns fans, diehard, how many people are going to watch this game?
The only people that are going to be tuning into this game are people that have either Amari Cooper or Jerome Ford on their fantasy team. This is I don't want anything with
Such a
this.
shitty.
I can guarantee you that this will not be on my television when I'm watching football this week. I want no part of this. So 6.5 point dogs. Browns have 83% of the money on money line on them, but the Giants have 60% of the money on them with the spread. Browns have not looked good. They beat the Jaguars, who obviously I was expecting high things from the Jaguars last week, and they really didn't perform. And I don't know if that says as much about the Browns as it does the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are just mid. They're a
Yeah.
mid NFL team right now.
They're right.
I
in the
still
middle.
don't think the Browns are a good team. I don't see an 0-17 team in this league this year. I think every team will win a game. I think a lot of teams will keep it close. I'm actually going to take the Giants with 6.5 point spread. I wish that it was still, or no, so it opened up at 6 point spread. Enough of the money has been put on the Giants that it's gone to 6.5. I'm going to take the Giants with 6.5 points just because I have zero faith in the Browns.
Okay.
And obviously, I don't have a lot of faith in the Giants either, but I just don't like the Browns. Might be a little bit of a home bias.
No, yeah.
And I still think I would
Steelers
take
fan.
the Browns money line. I don't think the Giants win this game, but I think they keep it close, and I think they can keep it within the touchdown.
Yeah. I'm with you. I have different reasoning, but I'm also on the Giants with the points. I think the Giants, and I think we talked about this last week. Obviously, we didn't film last week, but we just talked about it. But the Giants' weakest point is their secondary, and I feel like watching Cleveland play, their weakest point is their passing game.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson just looks like he can't hit the broadside of a barn, so I don't think the Giants – I think that's like kind of a wash. I think the Giants keep it relatively close. I don't think there's a good chance that they win, but I do think the Giants will win a couple games, and I could see this being one of them, even though it's at Cleveland.
So the other big thing to look at is so the Giants' strongest point is their defensive line.
Bingo. Yeah.
Very much their defensive line. They've got some absolute studs over there.
Yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns coming off the edge. They've got a couple good defenders inside, Dexter Lawrence. And the Browns have been struggling pretty bad with injury on the outside of their offensive line. So Jedrick Wills and Jack Conklin are both, as of now, questionable. I forget who it was. Last week, one of them played, one of them didn't after both being listed as questionable. They're both banged up with knee injuries right now. And being banged up against one of the best edge rushing duos in the NFL, I could see the Giants keeping this pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm also hammering the under because I don't trust either of those offenses.
No.
I think the Browns' offense is trash, and we all know that the Giants' offense is trash. So.
Yeah, give me the under on that one. That was like the clearest. I actually put a star next to that one on my notebook because it was like I don't see any way this game goes over 38 points. I hope I don't regret saying that. Giants with the points, keep it close. Probably like a 17-13 game. That might even be to think
might be the exact score.
But to think that might be too much points is just like, yeah, that's how much I don't think is going to – this game is going to be like watching paint dry. I'm so glad it's not
it's going to be like watching a Pittsburgh Steelers football game. It's just it's a lot of defense. And if you like defense, I love defense. And that's going to be the game for you. But I don't think it's going to be as much good defense as it is just bad offense. It's just bad offense, not good defense. So moving into the next one, Philadelphia Eagles coming off a brutal Monday Night Football loss.
Yeah.
Last second, Saquon Barkley hits him in the hands. He catches the game. He catches the ball. Eagles win the game.
Saquon.
And he's one of the running backs in the NFL that is known for his catching prowess.
Yeah, he's great.
And he just couldn't bring it in. Falcons came down. Kirk Cousins beat the primetime curse. Came out. Got the win. What's that look for? He's got a really excited look.
The play call was heavily discussed this week. Heavily discussed on who or whether or not it was the right play call. Whether they should have just run it on I think it was 3rd and 3. It was either 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4. Whether they run it once and then do the tush push and the game's over. But their offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles said, I want the best play in my playbook to get 3 yards. You know who that offensive coordinator is?
Kellen Moore.
Number 11.
Kellen Moore. He's on the garage for a reason.
Ring
He's
of
on
honor.
the door for a reason. He's an absolute stud. Broncos legend. If the college football playoffs had been like they were today, back then, Broncos would have had a national championship.
Whoa!
Oh, no, I can confidently say that. You look back and watch that game.
We would.
I guarantee it. I don't even question it.
We might have made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Final round.
And I am a optimist to a fault. And I still think
it's good to see Kellen Moore doing good.
it is.
And
Well,
so
good.
the play call came under a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
That's my point. If the guy catches the ball,
Saquon, one of the best receiving backs in the
Yeah.
NFL, has the ball in his hands and he drops it. You can't blame that on the offensive coordinator
No.
for having a wide open play that the receiver drops. That play call was immaculate.
Yeah.
He put the ball in his best player's hands. Saquon is the best player on that offense.
Yeah.
He's better than Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. He's the best player on that offense.
he's one of the best players
They
in the National
put the
Football
ball in his hands. He messed up. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my view of the Eagles at all. Obviously, I have been a huge non-believer in the Saints. And
Just had a bit of a power outage.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's
sorry.
changing this week.
No.
The
Yeah.
Saints obviously have looked great. They have been the best offense in the NFL. 2 weeks ago, you can write it off as a fluke. Yeah, you're beating
Yeah.
the Panthers. That's a terrible defense. Last week, come out and you beat the Cowboys.
Well,
I thought the Cowboys were going to just put an absolute stop on the Saints.
Reality
and they didn't.
check.
Yeah, Saints. Rashid Shaheed is, you want to talk about a deep play threat that we haven't seen since probably like Ted Ginn or Deshaun Jackson. Rashid goddamn Shaheed.
So awesome.
He's been looking so good. Derek Carr is coming out, getting a $14,000 fine for grabbing his cock in the Cowboys' face.
I love that. I'm sorry. That cock.
No, he did.
It was
He
a
did.
strong cock.
It was fucking. And it had some emphasis to it. It had some emphasis. The Saints fans were going crazy.
Bro,
I don't know if you saw it. In
yeah.
Dallas, the Saints fans somehow organized a march. They were marching down
I
downtown
did.
Dallas.
They had
all the
instruments.
fans.
They had
I loved it.
instruments,
I don't know
bro.
how you
So
coordinate
cool.
that, but it made me
So cool.
want to root
I
for the
love
Saints.
it. Yeah.
And still,
Go
goddamn,
Saints.
give me the Eagles
Go
plus
Saints.
3.
What?
Give me the Eagles plus 3.
Oh no! But he grabbed his cock.
He did. He
He
did. And
grabbed
I
his
have
cock.
respect for it. I have respect
Oh my!
for it.
$14,000 fine.
Respect versus gameplay. I will take the Eagles over the Saints. I'm probably going to take the money line for some money here. I think this is a
Jesus.
great upset.
Keep that bet
Bet.
off my board. Keep that bet off my board. All right, my turn. So, buddy, I used to play against in high school, rival high school. I went to Idaho Falls High School.
Mhm.
Skyline High School was our rival. We'd had a game every year called the Emotion Bowl. It was like the city rivalry, and it was the whole town basically shuts. I grew up in small town Idaho. Whole town shuts down for the Emotion Bowl. Best player on Skyline, a guy named David Ames, goes to play at Weber State, D1. One of the few D1 athletes out of Idaho Falls over the last probably century. He goes to play at Weber State. His buddy, I don't know if they were roommates or locker buddies, but they were both receivers. He was receiver. He was like his backup. David Ames, Rashid Shaheed. They're pals. He's posting him on his fucking Snapchat story. He's posting him on his Instagram. He's tweeting at Rashid Shaheed. I love it. I love that. Even though it's a small tie, that's a small tie to my hometown. I love Rashid Shaheed for that reason. I think he is a dog. I love the attention that he's getting. I love that Derek Carr grabbed his cock. I love that he's such a devout Christian, and that's like a part of his personality is the fact that he is like a devout Christian and like a goody two shoes and like doesn't swear in interviews and shit. And then his celebration when he runs in a touchdown, hits the fucking kick and and it was just
The
God.
Michael fucking Jackson grab.
Grabs his dude.
It was
I'm
great.
gonna quote-
It made me want to root for
I
Derek
love
Carr.
it. I love
And
it.
you think back, so coming into last year, obviously Derek Carr had a terrible year, absolute horrendous year
Yeah.
with the Saints last
It
year.
was like the Saints
But
hated
coming
him.
into it, you want to talk about a contract. He came off the Raiders, and the Saints gave him a bag. They gave him a goddamn bag to
Yeah.
come play for them. And everyone was like, oh, it's going to be Saints in the playoffs, guaranteed. Derek
Yeah.
Carr's coming in here. He's going to absolutely take over the league on the Saints. People kind of forgot that because of one bad year.
Yeah.
He's still that same quarterback. I still think he has all the talent in the world.
Well, and God
In
forbid.
my mind, the Eagles are still the second best team in the NFC, though, and I think that they're going to beat the Saints. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. This will be one of the ones that I watch.
Yeah, that'll be on my TV.
Guaranteed.
What's the over under? 49 and a half.
49 and a half.
Yeah.
It's a high over-under.
I'm not going to bet on that over under. I'm washing that, but
I'm going to take the under on it just because it is such a high one.
yeah.
But
I want
still
the
gonna
Saints.
watch
I
that.
want the Saints with the points. I'll take the Saints money line. I don't give a shit. But I think to your point, it's like God forbid Dennis Allen, who, if you were to ask a random Joe who knows like most ball, like a lot about ball, and you said, "Hey, name every head coach in the NFL," I'll list off the teams. They might get 25, 26, 27 of the head coaches. But you get to the Saints head coach, like last year, I knew backup players for most teams, but you get who's the Saints head coach? It's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen? I don't even know who the guy is. God forbid it takes Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, and that whole operation a year to like figure it out. Like, yeah, last year was a bad year. It makes a lot of, even though it went out of the back of my mind too, and I wasn't thinking about it going into this year, now that they're doing good, I don't see the fluky nature of it. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, oh yeah, this is the Saints team that was supposed to be good last year. Yeah, it was Dennis Allen. It was Derek Carr's first year there.
Kamara
coming off injury.
He's awesome this year.
Dude, and it's like everything they were supposed to be. And I think it's like, oh yeah, this is what they were, but they had a lot of unfortunate circumstances and some outside shit. And it's the NFL. It's hard.
Yeah.
If you have a couple things working against you, that can create a 4-13 team. Like it's
And so
and they
one
still
of the
weren't
other
that
reasons,
bad.
One of the other reasons I'm taking the Eagles is I feel like this is it's a gross overcompensation for the first 2 weeks of the NFL. So the Saints coming out here for the first 2 weeks, just being an absolutely dominant team. Let me ask you, if this was the week 1 matchup, coming into the year, everything we know about all of these teams, even knowing that A.J. Brown is out, what do you think that the spread is if the Eagles go into Saints week 1? We haven't seen these first 2 games for the Saints.
I would say it's a flip. Like
No. Coming into the year, Eagles would have been 6.5-point favorites. Guaranteed.
6.5.
The Saints were projected to be the bottom 2 team in the NFC South. People had the Panthers and the Falcons both rated above the Saints. People had the Panthers rated above the Saints coming into this year. Or not the Panthers. Not the Panthers. What am I saying? The Buccaneers and the Falcons. They thought that they were going to be the 2 teams in the NFC South that were fighting for this division. The Saints kind of came out of nowhere. And any NFL team can have a good 2-week stretch. And I feel like this spread...
That good of a 2-week stretch, though?
The best 2-week stretch in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any team can have just dominant performance against the Cowboys.
I watched Mason Rudolph put up that kind of numbers 2 weeks in a row for the Steelers last year. Not
Against
quite
the
that
Cowboys?
good.
Well, yeah, definitely not that good.
You can come in here. Any NFL team can be great for 2 weeks like that. And the
Okay.
Saints absolutely epitomize that. I still think that the Saints are going to be fighting for a playoff spot, but this is, in my mind, a guaranteed lock for Eagles +3.
I like it.
Okay. Over under 49.5. What you feeling? I'm taking the under.
I have an X next to it, but since you're taking the under, give me the over.
Okay. I love it.
The
Love the
Saints could score
combativeness.
49 points on their own.
I think so could the Eagles. You know,
No, they couldn't.
what's the Saints' best part of their offense right now is Alvin Kamara. The team is running through them.
Their offensive line is the best part about the Saints. Their offensive line is dominant.
The Eagles' offensive line is better, but
No, it's not.
100%.
No, it's not.
100%. Lane
Saints
Johnson's
have
carrying
pro-
that.
Saints
So
have-
here's the thing. So during practice, when Kamara's coming out, most teams don't know how to handle a running back like Alvin Kamara, which is why I think he's so good, because especially this early in the NFL season, a lot of teams with first-year players that are coming out here, they don't know how to handle a running back thing and go out of the backfield and be a receiver. The Eagles have that on their own team. They've been lining up against someone like that this entire offseason. I think the Eagles are uniquely equipped to handle the Saints offense. I still think that the Saints offense is going to be one of the best in the NFL. I think Derek Carr is an absolute pickup if he's not picked up already in your fantasy leagues. I think his over on passing yards is going to be good most weeks. I think the Eagles are uniquely equipped to handle the offense that the Saints has. And that's why I'm taking them. Honestly, at this point, it's not even a dog on the Saints. I have the Eagles that highly rated in my mind. Most weeks, I'm probably going to take the Saints.
Last question before we move
Okay.
on. Do you think Saints, Falcons, Saints -3.5 at home? Saints -3.5 at home versus the Falcons this week. Who would
This
you
week?
take? Yeah, if it was Saints versus Falcons -3.5 at home this
I
week.
would take the Saints.
Okay.
I would take the Saints -3.5.
All right. I just want to hear you say that.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I don't think the Falcons are that good. They're
Falcons
still
team
getting
that
used-
just
they're
beat-
still getting
The
used.
Falcons team that just beat Philadelphia
Yes.
on Monday Night Football.
Yes.
The same one.
Yes.
That
The same
Falcons
one.
team.
Same one.
So Sunday at, let's say it's 2:30.
Okay.
And the Saints just beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And I come back to this clip of you saying why you want to pick Philadelphia and then saying you would take the Saints over the Falcons at home, but you're going to take Philly over the Saints at home. What's going to be
I could pull up so many like revolving doors like that. So Falcons beat the Eagles, yes. I still think the Eagles are a better team than the Falcons. So by your logic, the Raiders are a better team than the Ravens.
No.
Because you're saying because they
Okay,
just won.
okay.
So that's my point.
I made my point.
I
That's
think
enough.
every single NFL team has a chance to beat every single NFC team or NFL team. I think the Washington Commanders, if they just had the game of their lives, they could come out and beat the Bengals this week. Does that mean that I think that the Bengals are a worse team than the Commanders? No. The Falcons beat the Eagles, and I'm not taking anything away from that. But I think the Eagles are a better team than the Falcons.
Okay.
And I think the Eagles are a better team than the Saints. So that's my point. I think
you make a great
any
point.
NFL Sunday, any
Yeah.
NFL team.
Given any NFL Sunday, any NFL team. You make a great point. When the Saints do beat the Eagles, because this is a game that I'm strong on this.
+3. Shot bet to start the next episode. Shot bet. I'll take
No,
Eagles +3.
Not enough. I want a slap bet.
Slap bet. One slap.
Are we going spread or money line?
Spread.
I'm with it. All right, moving on.
love it.
Chargers, Steelers.
Can't wait. Shit outta here.
We got Los Angeles Chargers without Justin Herbert.
Possibly. So possibly without Justin Herbert. So this is one of the games that's kind of scaring me away right now. Obviously, I think even with Justin Herbert, I was going to take the Steelers, but the spread has moved too much. So the spread opened, Steelers -2.
Then it went down
Slowly
to
throughout the week, it went down to Steelers -1. And now that Justin Herbert, who is doubtful with a ankle injury, it has moved back to Steelers -3. And -3 feels like a lot because of the fact that Herbert can still start. If Herbert comes out and plays, I don't love the Steelers -3 line. I would love because I could, with the way that I've seen the Steelers defense play, I could see this being a 12-10 game. Steelers win it. Cole Boswell, absolute dog. The Steelers have not shown that they can put it into the end zone consistently.
Chris Boswell.
Wow, what did I say? Cole? Cole. Who
You
am
were
I?
thinking about me.
I was. I'm sorry, man. You should be flattered by that.
Yeah, I am.
But no, I could
Ugh.
see the Steelers coming out here and putting up just enough points to win it. Justin Fields has been good enough to win every single game. He's not been good enough to put up a ton of points on any NFL offense. On the other side, J.K. Dobbins has looked like an absolute stud of a running back. I absolutely love what he's doing over there in L.A.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But one of the biggest matchups that I'm going to see, because obviously both teams have they have a proclamation to run the ball. They both want to be run-first teams. Jim Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin both want to run the rock. They want to play this like it's 1980s football. No one knows how to pass. They're run first, pass second. But when it comes down to passing situations, when you get into that 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, which team's going to pass the ball better? It's going to be a matchup of the offensive line and the defensive line. So the Chargers' offensive line, pretty fucking good. Joe Alt versus TJ Watt this week is going to be great.
That'll be the test. That's like the most highly anticipated edge rusher versus tackle. Do you think they're going to put... Does TJ usually play on the left side?
He always plays against the right tackle. So
yeah,
he's on the left side of the defense, but right side if you're looking at the offense. And he's coming out and he's going to be playing against Joe Alt the whole time. And then the Chargers. So the Chargers first rounder from a couple years ago, Rashawn Slater, he's going to be playing against Alex Highsmith. And those two matchups are going to be integral for
Integral.
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 Integral? Did I say that right? I didn't sound right when I said it, but I'm pretty sure I pronounced it right. You know what I'm talking about, though. It's going to be the key for the Steelers to be. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do.
Not a problem.
But I think that's going to be one of the key matchups for the Steelers on defense is how those pass rushers go up against the Chargers offensive line. And I do genuinely worry about the Steelers offensive line holding up against the Chargers pass rush. So our first rounder from this year, Troy Fautanu from Washington, who came in replacement of Broderick Jones last week.
Sure.
They were kind of splitting the snaps. Broderick Jones came out as a starter, committed 3 penalties in 1 drive on like the second drive for the Steelers. Tomlin pulls him out. Pulls in Fautanu.
Yeah.
And now Fautanu is questionable. And if he starts, I think that he can hold his own against Joey Bosa. But Khalil Mack coming off the other side. The Steelers' offensive line is not great. As a Steelers fan, I want to say that I'm 100% confident in this game. The 3-point spread being the same that it was last week against a 3-point spread versus the Broncos feels like 2 completely different things. The 3-point spread versus the Broncos felt like an absolute lock. 3-point spread versus the Chargers. If Herbert plays, I don't love it. If Herbert doesn't play, I love it.
Who's the backup?
Easton Stick or... Oh, they have someone else. It's like they have 2 people back there. Here, let me...
If
Easton Stick is listed as the second stringer, and then Taylor Heineke is the third stringer.
Oh, Taylor Heineke sitting behind Easton Stick?
Easton Stick is listed as the second stringer, so if Herbert doesn't start, Easton Stick will start.
No, that would be Jim Harbaugh's mistake. You got to put in Taylor Heineke.
But that's the thing. He doesn't want to come out and have to rely on either quarterback. He wants to come out and run the ball with J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Yeah, the Ravens running back feels crazy.
All right, give me the Steelers with the points.
-3?
I'll lay the points. Steelers -3. The over-under is 34.5, which seems historically low. I don't care. Give me the under.
I'm actually tailing you on both of those. Give me the Steelers -3 and give me the under.
Yeah.
This game is going to end 15-10. It's final score prediction, 15-10. Steelers don't get in the end zone. Chargers do once, probably a J.K. Dobbins touchdown, and the Steelers still find a way to win.
Does he front flip?
I hope so. I hope so. I
think that'd be great.
Yeah, that was electric when he did it. Next up, Houston Texans going into Minnesota. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL right now.
So this is a hard game for me to pick with because of the law of the Big Mo. I love momentum. And I feel like both the Texans and the Vikings have so much momentum. I think if you just look at quarterback matchup, which last week you could say the same thing. If you just look at quarterback matchup, you have Sam Darnold, you have Brock Purdy. If that's the only thing you're looking at, based off of week 1 of the NFL season and no previous bias, you take Sam Darnold. Looking at it this week, C.J. Stroud, and I'm not a Brock Purdy sleeper. I love Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's electric. I'm not saying I'm not one of those people that says Brock Purdy is a check down merchant or anything. If you say that, you don't know ball. But if you just take quarterback, because I think these teams are very comparable. You take quarterback, C.J. Stroud versus Sam Darnold. I like C.J. Stroud. I like the Texans. Laying 1.5, giving 1.5 to the Vikings in Minnesota. Give me C.J. Stroud winning this game by 3 to 6 points.
Over under 46.
I like the under. I like the under on almost every game.
Okay. One of the biggest things to talk about in my mind for this game. So the Texans offense has been C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud runs this offense, and he's running it really well. He has probably the top... I don't even know if I can think of another team to compete against him. As far as top 3 wide receivers go, the receiving room, especially if you include Dalton Schultz, but you get Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, who's leading the NFL in receiving yards through 2 weeks, and Tank Dell, who's been missed on a lot of throws. That connection is kind of
Yeah.
it's scaring a lot of people
It's a
that
little
drafted him
weird.
in best ball. But because Tank Doyle has been open a lot of times, and that Stroud to Dell, the connection just has not been there.
I think
It looks amazing, and I'm still going to lay the Texans. But one of the biggest concerns for me is that run game. If you become one-dimensional in the NFL, it becomes a lot easier for a defense to stop you.
Yeah.
So Joe Mixon is technically right now ruled doubtful. We all watched the injury that he had. His ankle got rolled up on last week.
Is that a
Backup,
hip drop tackle?
I believe that they came out and said afterwards that
And they
they
fined
thought
him.
it was,
They find
but
him.
I don't know if they find him or not. No, so I don't think they can find him if it's not called a hip drop tackle.
No, that's
Like
that's
you can't.
wrong.
Yeah,
That's wrong.
are you sure?
Yeah. So what they said with the hip drop tackle was they are going to be extremely hesitant to call that in game. I love when your fingers get hot.
I just want to make
especially
sure.
when I know I'm right. I love when your fingers get hot like that. Yeah. They specifically don't want to call it in games unless they see every single element of the hip drop tackle, which I believe there are 4 elements of the hip drop tackle. They will, if they do not call it in games, they will review it post game and then fine players appropriately. Because the goal isn't to have it a foul like holding or false starts or hands to the face or these fouls where it's like, hey, if you do this, you get penalized, your team gets penalized. The goal of this penalty is to remove it from the game. They just don't want to see it anymore. So they're not as worried about the yards being taken away or like teams getting punished for it in game. They're worried about like players individually getting punished for it so that they stop doing it. I'm interested to see what you find in your Google.
I'm not seeing anything about TJ Edwards being fined for the tackle.
Well, in week,
So I'm fairly confident that I was listening to it post game. I don't think it was post that game. I think it was a different game, and they were talking about it where the NFL can't come out and find someone for it that's not called. Like
Okay.
if it's not a flag, so it has to be flagged, and then when it's flagged during game, the NFL can come out and fine players after the fact. Because I think that was a huge emphasis for it. I believe it was the Monday night game, Eagles-Falcons. They were talking about that tackle and the fact that because it wasn't flagged, they can't call it because they were talking about how referees might be scared to call it because it's a penalty that's never been called in the NFL before.
Bingo.
And if you call it for the first time and you're wrong, you're gonna get very scrutinized because it's such a controversial thing because that's how defenders are supposed to make tackles. You're supposed to grab the player and bring him down. Yeah. And that's what's drawing the penalty now. You grab him and you bring him down on the ankle.
There's a little more of a...
There's a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
But the act of bringing him down is what's the major cause of the penalty. And they were talking about the fact that they can't fine someone for it if the flag has not been called.
Can I prove you wrong?
I would love you to.
Can you Google players fined for hip drop tackle?
Let's see here. There's no flags for it. Sorry, I'm looking it up here.
You're good.
So it says just because a play isn't flagged in real time doesn't mean that it won't be punishment. NFL can fine first-time offenders $16,883 for performing the tackle. A second offense would cost the player $22,500.
Even though there isn't a flag.
But there has not been a fine for it in the NFL.
Yet. But they can. Right?
They can.
Okay.
But they haven't.
Do
you think that the NFL and or referees are worried about calling that kind of play and being the first to do it?
I do think that. And we don't need to go so far down the hip drop tackle I just was bringing up, but like in week 1, 2 hip drop tackles went unfined or uncalled. Fines for offenders are possible. Oh, 2 Giants fined for hip drop tackles.
Was that week 2? Because I didn't see
Yeah,
it on here.
Adoree Jackson and Darius Massah were both fined in week 1.
So
for
T.J.
hip-drop
Edwards was not fined for it. So
yet. But 2 players have been fined, and the foul has been called. So the point is, I'm right. You're wrong.
foul hasn't been called.
The foul hasn't been called. You're right about that. I'm
It's a
right
one
about.
and one. We'll call out a wash.
I knew it
wash.
hadn't been called. I never said it had been called. I'm just saying you can get fined for it.
No, but I'm saying I was right one. You're right one. I'm gonna call
But
that a
I
wash.
was right. Okay, then I was
I
right too.
refuse
'cause
to admit he knows anything more about football than I do. So
Anyways, what were we talking about?
we were talking about the Texans injuries because Joe Mixon is out or he's doubtful.
Yeah.
Damian Pierce, backup running back, is already been ruled out actually for the game.
Okay.
It makes me worry about the Texans -1.5 because becoming one-dimensional against a sneaky good Vikings offense. I don't love the fact that it's 1.5 points. Everything about it makes me want to take the Vikings, but I'm going to follow my heart. As much as I love Sam Darnold, I'm still going to go Texans -1.5.
I also have Texans -1.5, and I have the
under 46. I don't think that's going to hit. I think over for sure.
Okay.
I think these teams come out and they're going to ball. These offenses are going to ball.
I don't think so.
Jordan Addison's out, but Jefferson's going to go for 100 plus. Nico Collins is going to go for 100 plus. Diggs is going to go for another 80. These offenses are going to ball out. This will be a high scoring game.
Okay. I don't think they're going to be the Texans are going to be one-dimensional either with Ogunbowale, and I don't think Cam Akers is going to do great, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think they're actually going to be decent with the running game. Moving on to Packers-Titans. I
Talks like he knows who Daria Ogunbowale is.
I do know who Adare Ogunbowale is.
Where he played last year.
I have no idea. I know
you don't even know who he is. How do you know Daria Ogunbowale?
Because you said it.
Because I've talked about him.
Yeah, and I've seen him on TV. Duh. Anyways, Packers go into Tennessee. They go to Nashville to play the Titans. Titans are giving 3 points at home to the Packers, who also were getting points against the Colts last week.
Don't want to talk about that game. That game hurt my pocketbook.
A certain person in this garage that isn't me placed
$350
on the Colts with the spread in that game. He was so confident in that, he said he would bet his mortgage and his entire house if he had one on that game. So he was wrong. Just want to make sure that is being known to our audience. Give me the Packers +3. I think Malik Willis showed what he can do against the Colts. Even though Gus Bradley really did a bad job calling that defense, everybody on the fucking planet knew that the Packers could only run the ball. Even that's what Connor was screaming. He's in the garage watching the game, screaming, "We know they're going to run the ball. We know they're going to run the ball. Everybody knows they're going to run the ball. What are we doing?" Everybody knew, besides Gus Bradley. I don't know what it was. And that lends a lot to why the Packers won that game. But the Packers played really good defense against an Anthony Richardson and a Colts offense that has been explosive and has shown signs of like actually being pretty decent. Anthony Richardson looked like he didn't know what the fuck was going on out there, and I don't think that was because he didn't. I think it was because of the way the Packers played defense. I think they're actually looking pretty damn good in that regard, and I think they can do the same thing to Will Levis, and then I think Malik Willis and Josh Jacobs can keep this game really close. I mean, if the Packers lose by 1, I'm not going to be sad because I'm taking the Packers, but I could see the Packers even winning this game. And I take the under.
So that game last week, I don't know. Watching every single play of the game, because obviously placing that big of a bet,
$350.
$350, which might not be a lot to a lot of people.
It's a car payment to a lot of people. It's a car payment to a lot of people.
For the units that I normally bet, that was a big bet. I had high confidence in the Colts, and I wish that I had watched week 1 of the Colts, because watching week 2 of the Colts, it wasn't even... So their offense did not play great, but their offense doesn't concern me right now. Their defense, I've never seen a defense with that little enthusiasm to play the game. So many times I would watch the Packers run the ball, one person comes up, starts to bring down Josh Jacobs, and another guy's coming up to hit him. And instead of hitting him and dropping him, he kind of sits here and he waits for the guy to go down. There's not the...
They're not flying around.
They're not. They're not trying to tackle the ball carrier. They don't want to play football right now. Gus Bradley, defensive coordinator for the Colts, he should have been fired after that week. Not even because of their performance stats-wise and how they lost the game, because of the player's performance. If a player's not going to play for a coordinator like that, I don't think that that coordinator should be in the NFL. Gus Bradley did that bad of a job, in my mind, that I have zero trust in the Colts defense the rest of the NFL. It was bad. Given that, this is also Packers coming in. +3 underdogs. Malik Willis, semi-revenge game. Doesn't sound like he's upset.
Mm-hmm.
What we got right now is 92% of the money line is on the Packers. 81% of the money on spread bets is on the Packers. And Vegas has been cooking. I'm going to roll with Vegas. Give me Titans -3. Simply because I think the Packers have not... Watching the Packers last week didn't enthrall me with who the Packers are as a team. It made me hate who the Colts are as a team. And I think that the Titans are going to come out here, hold on just enough. Will Levis has played absolutely terrible. He had one of the worst plays I've ever seen. He's getting sacked, and as he's getting sacked, he throws the ball, kind of like rolls it, try to bowl the ball to a running back to try to make something out of it. Whoever they were playing last, Jets picked it up. I think they ran it in for a touchdown. It was a terrible play. Titans head coach came out, or offensive coordinator came out and was like,
head coach David Canales.
Yeah, he was like, that was one of the worst plays I've ever seen. Like he knows what he does.
He didn't say that.
Did you watch the interview?
I watched the interview. Yeah,
he said that was one of the stupidest plays I've ever seen.
One of the
and he made the same play last week.
He said that was one of the stupidest
and he made the same play last week.
They asked him, so what were you yelling to Will Levis? Because the camera shows him what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, what were you saying to Will Levis? He says, I think the camera picked it up pretty good.
Yeah.
Said I was frustrated. That was one of the dumbest
things. Because he made
the
same play 2 weeks in a row.
He's a grown up. He knows better than that. Yeah, it was his answer was awesome.
No, and that made me like the Titans head coach. I don't think Will Levis is stupid enough to do that 3 weeks in a row. I don't love it because I could easily see the Packers coming out, winning this game, keeping it close. But because that amount of money is placed on it, on the Packers, I'm going to ride with Vegas. I'm taking the Titans -3. I'm also going to take the over-under 38.5. I'm taking the over. Give me the over.
You're an optimist.
Give me the over.
I love that about you.
Give me the over. You're taking the under?
Hey, yeah, I want the under.
Okay. Last game, then, on the 11 p.m. slate.
Hang on.
Oh, not done.
I got to piss. Got to reload on beers.
Okay, we're going to take a quick little break.
Yeah.
We'll be back in just 1 second.
We are back with shots and ladders. Bladders are empty. Drinks are full.
They're flowing.
God, it feels good to be here, Con Man.
God, I love the NFL.
We're through almost the entire 1 p.m. slate, 1 p.m. Eastern time slate, 11 a.m. Mountain time slate. Next game we got on the docket is Bears versus Colts. I
just talked a lot of shit on the Colts defensive front.
We've got a Bears fan and a Colts fan in our fantasy.
We do.
Well, no, we don't have the Bears. Bears fan's a cousin of mine.
Friend of yours.
Good cousin of mine. Not a friend. Clayton Powell, huge Bears fan. Loves the Bears. He convinced me to bet on the Bears was it Sunday night versus the Texans? Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Sam Levitt, one of my best friends from high school, huge Colts fan. We've got them in a head-to-head matchup. I'm excited to see how those two react to it. Colts are giving a point at home in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
And this line is weird. I've seen it as low as Colts -1.5, and I've seen it on some sites where it's even money, depending on where you're going.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just a coin flip right now. It's as close to a coin flip as you can get, and I'm actually going to be taking the Bears +1 because of all the stuff I just said about how I watch the Colts defense. Until I see that they want to play football, because as of right now, I haven't seen them want to play football. That Colts defense wanted to sit there on the sideline and hope that they won. They didn't want to contribute anything. Until they want to contribute, I'm not going to pick them.
You sound like a guy who would not want to be my high school football coach. I am taking the Colts with the point. I think Anthony Richardson is more developed and better than Caleb Williams at this point. I think the Loud House, Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be pretty loud. I know there's going to be a lot of Bears fans there because Chicago and Indianapolis are like an hour and a half drive apart. But
Yep, it's not as much of a home field advantage for the Colts as you would hope.
it's not as much as you would hope, but I still think the Colts are going to show up. I think Gus Bradley's under a lot of pressure. The noise was too loud. It's too loud for Shane Steichen not to hear it. It's too loud for I can't remember the name of a single person in the Colts front office, even their owner, Jim Irsay. Too loud for Jim Irsay not to hear it. Chris Ballard, too loud for him not to hear it. Gus Bradley's on the hot seat. He's going to have his A game. They're going to shut down Caleb Williams. The Colts are going to have a really good game, I think, and the Colts are going to win this one. I like the Colts money line. I like the Colts with the 1 point, but I do think 44 points is a lot for this game. I like the under.
See, I'm going against you on both of them. I think the over is going to hit because I don't think either of these defenses are very good. I think the offenses both have enough. I think this is going to end 27-24, and I don't know which direction. I'm going to take the Bears just because I think Caleb Williams is going to have his first good game against the Colts defense that I absolutely despise everything about them. And so Caleb Williams technically has one win under his career. He did not win that game.
No.
The Bears offense was terrible that game. Caleb Williams played like shit. I think this is going to be Caleb Williams. Hey, I'm here. I'm actually a good starting NFL quarterback. I have good weapons around me. I've got Rome Odunze. I've got DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is going to have a game against this Colts defense. Okay. I wouldn't be shocked if DJ Moore actually goes for 150 yards. Wow. I think it's going to be that good because I have that little faith in the Colts defense. Keenan Allen is obviously still out. He still has not played any. That hurts the Bears. If he was in, I would hammer money on this. But I really don't have any trust in the Colts defense. I think they're both good offenses with very bad defenses. But I'm going to take the Bears just because I think Caleb Williams is going to have one of his games. And I think it's about time for it to come out.
And you're taking the over?
And I'm taking the over because I think the Colts offense is really good as well. I think this is going to come down to whoever has the ball last. 100%. Whoever has the ball last in this game, I think will win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way.
I like where your head's at. Let's go Panthers, Raiders.
Panthers, Raiders. Moving on to the 2 p.m. slate. Carolina going into Las Vegas as 6-point underdogs. Started out as 5.5-point underdogs.
Okay.
Has moved to 6.
Money's going on the Raiders.
Money is going on the Raiders. What are your thoughts here? Because I have infamously now been on the Panthers supporting. Disgustingly been on the Panthers supporting side. And results-based has not worked out for me. But I really don't think that the Raiders are that good.
They just beat the Ravens. I know that doesn't mean the Ravens are better than the Raiders, or Raiders are better, or the Raiders are better than the Ravens. But
Gardner Minshew is a dog.
He's a dog.
He can come out and
he wins football games. Yeah.
So does Andy fucking Dalton.
I agree with that.
I think a quarterback change at this point in the year, like this early in the year, it's going to do one of two things to this offense. Number one, so weirdly enough, I don't think that the Panthers lose this by less than 6 points. But I think it's either the Panthers win it outright or they get blown out. I don't think it stays within 6, which is why I don't like where the spread's at. Because bringing in Andy Dalton, with the people that he has to receive the ball from him. I mean, you talk about Deontay Johnson. With the Steelers, he was really good. He was always an average to above average player. He was never going to take the top off of defense. He's a slot kind of guy. He's going to catch a lot of passes. He's not going to get a ton of yards. Adam Thielen, he's a veteran presence back there. You got Xavier Legette. They took another guy a couple years ago.
Xavier Legette. You ever heard the guy talk?
I have.
It's hilarious. It's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know we were making fun of people for their
I'm so
speech,
sorry.
but now. But so I think that the Panthers have a lot of talent around them, and they could win this. I think Andy Dalton either gets blown out or he wins this game. I don't think it's a close game that he loses. And I've been on the Panthers side for 2 weeks straight.
Why not make it 3?
Why not make it 3? I'm taking Panthers +6.
Why not make it 3?
I'm taking Panthers
I'll tell you why
+6
not make it 3.
because I want Andy fucking Dalton. I want the Red Rifle to come out here.
Red
I
Rifle.
had to play against the Red Rifle for 2 games every single year. I had to watch him destroy my Steelers. Not destroy, but he picks it apart. He's a veteran guy that knows defenses. And as of right now, he's better than Bryce Young.
I fear he's going to get a young, white, tattooed lad named Max Crosby in his lap for a lot of the game. I think the Raiders...
I think Ike McQuaney is going to be able to stop.
I think he's good, but I think Max Crosby is going to be better. I think the only guy that's been able to stop Max Crosby this year, and it's only been 2 weeks, but Joe Alt, we're going to see how he does against TJ Watt. But I think Max Crosby is going to have a hell of a game. I think the defense for the Raiders is going to have a hell of a game. This is one of my few games where I am taking the over, though, because I think I could see the Raiders winning this game like 27-20, or I could see them winning this game like 30-14. The over-under is only 14 points. I like the Raiders giving
40,
the 6 points.
Not 14.
Huh?
You said over-under is 14 points. I said clarifying 40.
I said 40.
You did not.
Well, we'll look back. We'll look back at the tape.
We can look back on it. So you're taking the over and the Raiders.
Over and the Raiders. Yeah.
I'm completely against you. I think the Panthers keep this close in a low-scoring game where it's 2 bad offenses. I think the Panthers +6 and the under.
Well, that makes me feel really good because you've been really, really wrong about the Panthers all year. So I'm stoked about that. I think that might be my lock of
Let's look at your
day.
total picks.
That might be my lock.
What are your total picks for the year?
Day.
I don't even think you're above 50% for your picks of the year money line.
I probably am. Let's go Dolphins. Stop.
You want me to look at it real quick?
Stop.
While you're talking shit. I don't even think your picks for the year money line are over 50%.
No, those picks are not the picks here.
You're right.
Picks in our pick
these are harder to pick, and you're worse off in these than you are in money line.
I don't think that's true. This is a new.
Are we betting?
What were we last week? Because
betting?
What were we last week? We made picks. We didn't air it. We didn't film it, but we made picks. We still did our thing, just like we do. I just couldn't be here. But what was the point? What was it?
Let me go look it up.
Okay. So I'll bet you a shot right now that I did better than you did last week.
All right, shot bet. Give us 1 second. We're gonna go calculate what the picks were. We'll be right back.
Bringing it back,
bringing it back. He's talking a lot of shit.
Okay,
You're talking a lot of shit with nothing to back it up.
We don't need to talk numbers. We just need to.
We do need to talk numbers because we stepped away from it. You just asked us to step away and calculated it.
Yeah.
So
no, we
just
calculated
spread bets, not calculating over unders.
Can I pause? Can I pause?
10 losses.
The sports books won last week, and I lost to Connor last week. Connor won by 2.
Yep.
And that's all that needs to be known.
Yep. I went 5 right and 8 wrong. You went 3 right. Out of 15 games, you got 3 right, and you gonna come up here and talk shit to me? I think the fuck not. But cheers to you, because I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you too.
Love you. I hope every pick you get wrong. Ha!
Okay.
I forgot where we were.
Dolphins, Seahawks?
We were Dolphins, Seahawks.
So,
how did we get on that rant, though?
I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The
Okay,
drinks
Dolphins,
are
Seahawks. Dolphins. Tua obviously took a brutal injury. Obviously, we wish for the best for him. I got
Oh,
a lot of family actually at this game because most of my family is Dolphins fans. They were all very excited to see this Dolphins offense play. Most of them were trying to sell their tickets after the Tua injury. It was a brutal injury. I think it was a fourth concussion in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Wish the best for Tua. A lot of people were thinking that he was going to try to not play again, but he's a competitor. He's came out and said that he is going to play again. Hopefully it never happens again. But as of right now, the situation that we're in is Skylar Thompson is trying to go into Seattle as a 4.5-point dog. The Seahawks are a better team. The Dolphins are a better team than the Seahawks if Tua plays. If Tua plays, this is probably a 4.5-point spread the other way. But without him, Skylar Thompson has never done anything to invigorate me to pick them. I am going to take the Seahawks minus 4.5.
I am also going to do that. I'm also going to take, weirdly, the over.
Really?
I like the
42.
Seahawks.
Over under 42.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks scoring a lot of points here.
Okay.
I like the Dolphins getting some shit done with the explosive offense that they have, but losing by quite a bit. I could see like a 14 to 32 kind of game here. I agree with you for the most part, but I also do think the Seahawks are the leading team in the best division in football, which is the NFC West. So I think the Seahawks are pretty dominant. They're gonna smack the Dolphins.
Seahawks will smack the Dolphins, but it is going to be the under. Skylar Thompson is not going to be able to get the ball to enough players to score touchdowns.
I don't think it's very hard as a Dolphins quarterback to get the ball to people that can score. I think that he's going to do it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of running out of the backfield. I think Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are probably both going to have over 20 yards rushing, which is crazy because I think they're going to do a ton of end rounds because Skylar Thompson can't throw the football.
I think you'll be surprised.
But I don't think the Dolphins are going to score more than 10 points. I think you'll be surprised. If the Dolphins score 10 points this game, I will be impressed. So give me the Seahawks minus 4.5 and give me the under.
Okay. We don't need to talk about that game too much just because of the injuries. This is another game that we don't need to talk about.
You want to talk about injuries coming up. You want to talk about injuries. This is the injury game in the NFL this week.
The Niners are taking the long trip from San Francisco all the way down to Los Angeles, California, to visit the Rams, who are giving the Niners 6.5 points. Given the Rams are missing more than half of their offensive line, they're missing their first and second string wide receivers. Their defense just got absolutely obliterated by a really, 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 really good Arizona Cardinals team. But it is a division matchup. It's not one to be fucked with. I don't think the Niners are going to take it lightly. I know the Niners are missing Deebo Samuel. They're missing Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, Deebo's out. Kittle's out. McCaffrey's out. So you think about the Niners' top 4 weapons as far as like playmakers go. Yeah. They're missing 3 of them. The only person that they still have in that's a starter is Ayuk, who didn't practice all offseason.
And he hasn't been great.
But Jordan Mason has been an absolute dog.
He's done great.
But the Rams really only have 3 offensive weapons, and 2 of them are out as well. So each of them only have one of their true offensive weapons left. I'm going to take the Niners minus 6.5, strictly because of that defense. Fred Warner is the best defensive player in the NFL right now. And that's coming from a Steelers fan. That's coming from a Steelers fan.
Wow.
I'm not saying stats-wise. And stats-wise, he's awesome. Did you see his stat line from?
Yeah.
His stat line was disgusting. Fred Warner is playing the best defensive football in the NFL right now, and the Niners' defense is so good that I think the Rams, without Cooper Kupp, without Puka Nacua, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely shocked if they get above 13 points this week. So I'm hammering. I am hammering the under at 43.
Yeah, I am
100%. 100% the under at 43 is going to be one of my favorite bets for the week. Just because
that means that wait. It's one of your favorites?
It's one of my favorites.
Give me the over.
Give me the over.
Your favorite bets week 1 and week 2 lost. Your big grandstand. This is my favorite.
One of my
I
favorite.
can't wait for
this is
this
so-
to hit. I can't wait.
I literally have the under written down here, but once you said that, I said, nope, change it. Give me the
so
over.
don't trust
49ers.
that. Don't say that just because I say that. Because
No,
now
it's.
oh.
I got to. Give me the 49ers minus
Okay.
6.5.
Second shot bet of the night or slap bet.
Slap bet.
Slap bet.
Slap
Wait, what if we go 1-1 at the slap bets? Does it even out, or we both get one slap?
No, evens out.
Evens out. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me the under.
Niners with the points. Rams got boat raced by the Cardinals, and I think the Cardinals are one of the best teams in the NFL, but still. Yeah, the Niners are going to have their way with the Rams, and LA is just not the best fan base. The home field advantage in Los Angeles is not a lot. There's so much to do. There's not a lot of people are going to be in the Rams stadium.
The Rams are
going
to score like 10 points this game.
Yeah.
And then when the Niners score 21 and this game ends 21-10, 24-10, 24-10, official score prediction. Where the Niners win it. Where the Niners win it 24-10, and I smashed both of those, and you have to come out and be like, oh, I won last week again, and then let's go out and calculate it again. Mr. 3-10.
That's enough.
Okay,
Last
move on
week
to the
was a
next
tough
game.
week.
Let's
It
move
was a
on to the
tough
next
week.
game. Big game for you. Big game for you here. In my opinion, this is going to be the most fun game to watch this NFL
I
season.
agree.
This NFL week. This
Yeah.
week, this game
You
is
said
going to be
you
fucking-
started to say season.
I did.
You did start to say season.
I can't say season this early into the season just because we know week 17, week 18, there's going to be some matches like this that are like determining playoff spots. But right now, to date, this might be one of my favorite games to watch. Lions are going into Arizona as 3-point favorites.
Nuts that the Lions are getting 3 points at State Farm Stadium, one of the top 5 loudest stadiums.
With money line, Cardinals have 59% of the money on them.
Even the public knows.
The public knows.
They fucking know.
55% with a money line, or 55% with the spread, 59% with a money line.
This guy right here. This guy right here. On the back of my jersey. This name. Buda Baker. Did you watch his tape from week 2? Did you watch it? Did you see what a motherfucker did?
I watched the game. He's
Oh
a
my
beast.
God.
He's a beast.
He's up here. So Mel Kiper just said, ban 2 high safeties, right? I don't know if you saw that.
Stupid. One of the stupidest takes I've ever seen. You can't
Okay.
ban a defensive for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper says this. Buda Baker will be too high. He'll be up here. Offensive line is down here. They'll hand the ball off. And before that running back gets to the line of scrimmage, Buda Baker is flying down, taking the motherfucker's ankles out, getting a tackle for loss from too high, cover 2. Like, he's unbelievable. That's why I'm wearing his jersey. He's unbelievable. The Cardinals' defense is so good. I love the Lions. I love the Lions' offensive line. I hate to say it, but I love Jared Goff. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. They're all great. And it's not going to be hard for me because it's just not. I do love the Lions, but I'm ecstatic to watch them get embarrassed at State Farm Stadium in Arizona. The Cardinals are going to win this game, I think, by 14, 15 points. This is one of the games I like the over on, even though it's 51.5. I think the Cardinals can score 51 points on their own. I'm coming off a fucking high off the Cardinals putting 41 points up on the Rams, but still, I think a really, really good prop bet on this game is Hendrickson. What's his first name? Not Hendrickson.
Not Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson's going to get a couple sacks. He's going to be in the backfield a little bit. He might sack Kyler 3 times.
He might.
And he will. I think he will sack Kyler 3 times. When he doesn't sack Kyler's going to run wild all over this Detroit Lions defense. Kyler's going to sling the rock. Kyler's going to find Marvin Harrison Jr. for 2 touchdowns. Cardinals are going to win this game, and I am so fucking pumped for it. We lost to the Bills. This Bills team, which is an excellent team, just boat raced the Miami Dolphins
That was a
on
huge
Thursday night.
game. Huge game.
When they had Tua, picked off Tua twice. Incredible defense, incredible team, Buffalo Bills. Boat raced the Miami Dolphins. We lost to the Buffalo Bills on a PI call. Without Marvin,
That was a bullshit call.
it was.
Yeah, you guys should
Without
know
Marvin Harrison Jr. even touching the fucking football.
that. 100%.
And now we have Marvin Harrison Jr. touch. Dude,
I love it. I love it for you as a Cardinals fan.
Blake Shelton went on the Pat McAfee show today, or not today, yesterday. And he said, and he's an Arizona Cardinals fan, represent. He said it is finally fun to turn on the TV and watch an Arizona Cardinals game.
It is. The Cardinals are a fun team to watch right now.
So much
The
fun.
51.5 point spread is the highest over-under right now.
Yeah,
And I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to over.
I love it.
One question that I have for you, though, is do you remember the year 2022?
I was there for 2022. Yeah, I do remember
Do you remember how much stuff has happened since 2022?
a lot.
One of the things that has happened since 2022 is the Lions have lost 8 games.
Okay.
8 games since
That's
November.
Not a lot.
Since November of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what their record is after they've lost a game since 2022?
I'm going to say 8-0.
It is 8-0.
I love it. I love it. You know why I love it?
Lions -3 and the over.
You know why I love it?
Lock it in.
This is why I love it. Rams were like 9-1, or they had won 9 straight in Arizona. And I said last week to Connor, even though that we didn't air an episode because I was gone, but what I said to Connor was, when a streak becomes a streak and people start talking about it, that streak gets broken. Last week, Rams had won 9 in a row in Arizona, and we talked about it and I said the reason I love the Cards in this Rams game is because we're talking about the fact the Rams have won 9 in a row in Arizona. A good streak like that has to be broken. Lions are 8-0 after losses. That's a good streak. And a good streak like that has to be broken. Arizona Cardinals, give me the Arizona Cardinals by fucking 20. I'm so excited to watch this game.
Give me the Lions -3. So we have 2 slap bets. There's a chance that they break even.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in this because I think I could lose it, but I want us to be able to at least one of us slap each other.
Yeah.
Do you want to
There
make a
needs to be
slap bet?
Yeah.
This is the last
I agree.
last slap bet of the day.
That's an honorable thing.
That
for
way
you
you
to
have
do.
3. Yeah, that way
Yeah.
one of us wins it.
Yeah.
One of us wins
I
it.
agree.
I will give the Lions 3 points.
Yeah. It's an honorable
Jahmyr
thing.
Gibbs, Jameson Williams, David Montgomery, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is the best player on that offense and has been the most underutilized
The least
player
productive.
on that offense. I think that the Lions win this probably like 30-26.
Look out for Dennis Gardeck to have 2 sacks, by the way.
Okay, let's do it. But obviously the over is going to slap. Those are 2 of the
I
highest scoring
love the
offenses. Yeah. 51 is the highest scoring spread out there, but it's going to slap. That over in that game. That's my most favorite game to watch this weekend. I'm so fucking excited.
I fucking love it.
So excited to watch Jared Goff
Me too.
just destroy your team.
Shut the
All right,
fuck up.
next up. So this is a home one to you, not because of your team,
No,
because
this
of your
one-
family dynamics here.
Yep, this one touches the heart. It touches the heart.
Let's talk about it. Baltimore Ravens are going into Dallas
Bingo.
as 1-point favorites in Jerry World versus the Cowboys. How are you feeling about this game?
I do not see a world where the Ravens start the 2024 NFL season 0-3. That, to me, is impossible. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. I think the AFC North is better than that. I think the Baltimore Ravens are better than that. I think John Harbaugh is better than that. I think Lamar Jackson's better than that. I can't imagine any scenario where the Baltimore Ravens start a season 0-3. So, with that being said, give me the Ravens.
Over under 47.5.
Give me the under. I can't see. It would be one of the most unexpected things from my perspective, like one of the wildest,
last year, the Lions being as good as they were and going as far as they did, and even the Packers. The Packers and the Lions being as good as they both were and going as far as they both did last year in the NFL playoffs was like that's something I couldn't see happening. This to me, the Ravens being 0-3 is more unlikely than that. Like I just can't imagine that happening. I think the Ravens want it more. They have to want it more. John Harbaugh has to know this is the first time probably in John Harbaugh's career that he's ever been on the hot seat. And maybe that's not a great thing, but there's no possible there's no way. There's
Yeah,
no
in
fucking way.
my mind, the Ravens are not an 0-3 team.
They can't be.
Their win should have came last week. They should be a 1-2 team because they won last week, but they didn't. Give me Dallas. Give me fucking the Dallas Cowboys. +1. +1 to fucking beat the Baltimore Ravens.
No.
Because the Ravens are at an all-time low as far as confidence goes. Confidence goes a long way. Expectations
And the
go a long
Cowboys
way.
just got boat raced by the Saints. They're not low.
Yeah,
on-
both of them are coming off games that they should have won.
No, the Dallas Cowboys should not have won that game.
They should have won that game because the
boat
Saints
raced.
are not as good as the team as the
Oh,
Dallas
man.
Cowboys are. The Dallas Cowboys will beat the Ravens because of their depth. The Baltimore Ravens do not have depth right now.
Fair.
Baltimore Ravens, third string and fourth string running back, who are both very good. Rasheen Ali or something.
Hey, super good. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
know his
something
name.
like that.
Don't know his name, but he's
Something
really
like
good.
that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, he's hurt. The fourth string running back, who's also good. I have him in Dynasty. I don't remember who he is.
Yeah.
Terrible. Justice Hill has been pretty good. Derrick
Yeah.
Henry has been ass. Honestly, you want to talk about...
Not ass. He's been under.
No, he's been ass. You want to talk about a team that doesn't know how to use a player right now? It's the Baltimore Ravens. So Derrick Henry is a down-the-field runner. You line a quarterback up under center, and you put Derrick Henry behind them, that team is going to rush.
You don't think they know that though? You don't think they hear the
They
noise?
don't. Have you watched the games?
I
Baltimore
understand that
Ravens are playing more games out of shotgun right now than almost any team in the NFL.
I understand
And
that that's
Derrick Henry is not a out of shotgun running the football kind of guy. He wants the quarterback to be lined up under the center. He wants to grab the football and already be running by the time he hits it. The
11
Baltimore
yards
Ravens
back,
are not playing like that. The Baltimore Ravens are playing like Lamar still has a chance to throw the ball, hand it off, or run it, which is how they should be playing, but it should be out of under the center. It should not be out of shotgun. I genuinely question what the Ravens are doing, and this is not a dig on the Ravens. I think that the Ravens are going to beat the Steelers. Steelers are going to start this year 3-0. Ravens are going to start the year 0-3, and I still think that the Ravens are going to finish better than the Steelers this year. As a Steelers fan, I'm not delusional about that. I am questioning the way that the Ravens are running the football right now because they are throwing the ball too much. They're putting too much in the arms of their receivers. They should not be. They're running too much shotgun when they should be running under the center. I don't love the way that they're calling plays right now. It's not a dig on the Ravens because I think that the Ravens are going to make the playoffs and probably be a Super Bowl favorite for the AFC. I'm still saying that, and I still stick by that. But I think that they lose this game because they haven't figured out how to use their offense yet.
I agree with every single thing you said. But I think another person that agrees with every single thing you said is John Harbaugh. And I think every single thing you said has been brought to Todd Monken's attention. And Todd Monken's had to look himself in the mirror, look at his team, watch the tape from week 1 and week 2, and say, we're doing something wrong. And he's had to
Is John Harbaugh not calling the plays back there? Is he not?
No, he's not. Todd Monken's the offensive coordinator. Todd Monken's up in the.
Yeah, because John Harbaugh is calling the offensive plays.
No, he's not.
He calls offensive plays. That's why Mike McDonald went over to the Seahawks because Mike McDonald calls the defensive plays for the Seahawks or for the Ravens. John Harbaugh's calling the offensive plays.
No, Todd Monken is.
What did John Harbaugh do before? John Harbaugh. What was John Harbaugh's? Let me look it up just to confirm. What was John Harbaugh's role before the Ravens?
John Harbaugh does not call the plays for the Ravens. Todd Monken does. Out of the booth. Or the suite, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Whatever it is,
a team that has this kind of pressure on them, that's 0-2, that should be 2-0, looks himself in the mirror and says, "We need to make changes. What we're doing is not right," and they're going to find out what they're doing is not right because that's the kind of organization that the Baltimore Ravens have. Todd Monken's going to call it right. The Ravens are going to figure it out. They're going to come in. They're going to beat the Cowboys. They're going to get on the right track. That's what I think. And I very well could be wrong.
I'm
but that's
honestly
what I
going to
think.
love for the Ravens if they win this game. I'm going to love that because I don't think the Ravens are a team that starts 0-3.
Yeah.
You know how many teams in the last 10 years have made the playoffs after starting 0-3?
Like one in the last 10 years. 0. Yeah. And the Ravens are a playoff team. You know the Ravens are a playoff team.
I know.
That's why they're not going to start 0-3.
I think the Ravens are going to be the first team in the NFL
If the
to
Ravens
start 0-3 and still make the playoffs.
If the Ravens start 0-3, I literally won't. I fear my. No, I don't actually. This does not need.
Boy's
to
not going to
child
have sex
protection.
for 2 weeks. What? What?
I was just
What?
gonna say,
What?
I fear the happiness of my 7-month-old son.
Yeah.
Being around
it's
my wife.
gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. But I don't think that the Ravens win this game because I don't have trust in the coaching right now.
I do. I have trust in the adjustments. Give me the Ravens. Give me the under.
Okay.
What do you have?
I've got the Cowboys and the over.
Okay. Cool.
I love it.
Good.
I love it.
Great.
By the way, I love that we're so disagreed upon every game because that's going to make this ladder so much better. It's going to make this ladder so much better.
All right, we got the Chiefs going into Atlanta, taking on the Falcons. Falcons are giving 3 points to the Chiefs. Not a lot needs to be said. I don't want to slob on the Chiefs' knobs, but give me the Chiefs. -3.
100%.
Give me the
also,
under.
give me the Chiefs -3. Rashee Rice is an absolute dog until he gets suspended next year. I don't think he's going to be suspended
Until he
this
gets
year.
arrested and locked
This
up.
year, he is the absolute. He's the catalyst of that offense. Pacheco's injured, which is honestly a huge concern. They now have Carson Steele, Kareem Hunt, and who's their other guy? Samaje Perine. Dog shit. Dog shit. But the Chiefs are still going to win this game because they're passing offense. Patrick Mahomes is not going to lose this game to the Falcons. Falcons came out and had a great week against the Eagles. Kirk Cousins has still never won a game in Atlanta. He's not going to continue that this week.
Yeah,
he's not going to win this game.
Tough schedule to start.
Chiefs are going to win this game by more than 3. Also, give me the under.
I like the
46.5.
I like the under as well.
Okay. Trailing each other on that. That doesn't feel great. A lot of games last week.
Yeah, I don't love that.
That we matched up on. Didn't win.
Last week was a whole week of its own.
As I talked about earlier, the Falcons-Eagles game, the Falcons did great. Kirk Cousins performed beyond standards in that game.
Right.
But I think that the Falcons are still not as good of a team as the Chiefs. I think that the Chiefs win this. Pacheco being hurt hurts. Pacheco is an amazing running back.
Yeah, he is.
But I think a running back by committee is still going to be just as good in that offense because Mahomes is who he is. Xavier Worthy has not looked great. He had two touchdowns the first week off of 3 touches. He'll probably go for another end-around touchdown. Rashee Rice is going to catch a touchdown. Kelsey has looked terrible. Not looked terrible. Statline has been terrible. Statline's been terrible.
Yeah.
I would put money on him getting a touchdown this week.
Okay. Let's move on to Jaguars-Bills.
Monday night doubleheader. The first one of the year. I'm excited for it. I love Monday night doubleheaders because I want as much football every single day as I could.
You're one of the few.
I want football every day of the goddamn week.
Yeah.
And the Jaguars-Bills match is one that I'm excited
Then move
for.
the Commies and the Bengals to Tuesday. Don't play the games at the same time. They start 45 minutes apart. It drives me fucking nuts.
It drives me nuts too.
When you have
I
a
wish one of them was like
game,
a 2 p.m. game.
Yeah.
Or like 4 p.m. Eastern.
when you have a
2 p.m.
primetime game, it's like, okay, this is prime time.
Yeah.
We're going to watch this game. And you get stuck with it, and you live with it. I mean,
And you look at
sometimes
both of
it's
these.
shit.
So with the time slots, the NFL is considering the Commanders-Bengals prime time. That should be flipped. The Jaguars-Bills should be the prime
It's gonna
time,
be a better
and the
game.
Bengals-Commanders should be the alternate Monday game.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that the Jaguars-Bills are not the primetime game. because that's a game that I want to watch. Trevor Lawrence, I'm a big believer in. I love Trevor Lawrence. I've loved him since he came out of Clemson. I thought he was going to turn this Jaguars team around. He looked like he was going to for a year and a half, and then he came out and he's just been not good. But Josh Allen and the Bills, dude, they're so fucking good right now.
They're
so good.
They were slept on.
They were
in the
slept on.
offseason.
And you ready? You ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Khalil Shakir!
Oh.
Boise State alum.
You think
The
he's gonna have a
absolute
good game?
dog.
You think he's gonna have a good game?
I think he's going to go for 100 yards.
Don't spill.
100 yards.
Khalil's gonna have 100
Khalil's
yards.
going to have 100 yards.
Okay.
And the Bills win this game by 12.
Yeah, I have the Bills as well. Give me the Bills. Give me the under 45.5.
Give me the over.
Okay.
You do favor the unders. I favor the over.
Bro, I'm big on the unders this year.
Okay.
But I'm starting to figure out this football season. I think it's a lot
Are
of
you?
running the
After
fucking
going
rock.
3-10 and 2 washes, you're figuring it out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love
Okay,
that. I love that. I
make
love the
mistakes.
blind confidence. I love the blind confidence.
I make mistakes. Okay.
Okay.
You made mistakes last week. What were you? 5 and 10 with 2 pushes.
2 better than you. Yeah, I went 5 and 8. You went 3 and 10.
Okay.
We want to talk about
Anyway.
money line.
Anyways.
I went a lot better than you in the money line.
Doesn't matter. Bills
Matters a lot.
giving 5 points to the Jags or giving 5 points to the Jags at home. Give me the Bills with the under. I think the Bills are a hell of a football team.
So
I
good.
cannot
So
believe
good.
they beat the Cardinals in week 1, but that's just the team they are. They're a good team. They figure out a way to win, and I think against the Jags, they're going to win by a considerable amount. I think Khalil Shakir is going to have a hell of a game. I think James Cook is going to cook.
So good last week. So good at
So-
Thursday Night Football last week. And so that's one of the other things that I like to think about is so the Jaguars have had 6 days to prepare for this game. Bills have had 8.
Yeah.
Bills played Thursday Night Football. They've now had an extra 2 days versus the Jaguars to prepare against this Jaguars defense. Something about that.
I hate to rain on your parade, but there's a really good chance that the Bills took Saturday and Sunday off completely.
think so.
I do. I'm a firm believer in the fact that they did not do. I mean, the players on that team that want to win and that want to be Super Bowl contenders probably still watch film, probably still had a workout, yada yada. But they did not get together as a
Which
team.
should be all of their team because the Bills are a better team.
They're a great team.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that that's-
I'm on the same wavelength, but I'm the over, you're the under.
Okay.
Okay, last game of the match. Commanders.
Last game,
Washington Red Commanders.
the Commander skins.
Commanders. Going into Cincinnati
Yeah.
as 7-point dog. Started out as 8. Has
Really?
gone down to 7.
So that means money started going on the
Commander. All right, let me see where the money's right now. It's about 50-50. I'm not sure why the line moved.
I
But
think
Commanders are 7-point dogs against Cincinnati, who has been one of the more underwhelming teams to start the NFL
that's a
season.
good way to put it.
Which is, I mean, it's the norm for Cincinnati. You talk about what's
Right.
normal for Cincinnati over the last 5 years, and yeah, 5 years doesn't make an entire trend, but that's Joe Burrow's entire
5
career.
years though.
That's Jamar Chase's entire career. That's T. Higgins'
Yeah.
entire career. They're coming in here as a team that never starts the season good and still always make the playoffs. So they're 0-2 right now. If we're expecting them to continue that trend, that starts right here. The Bengals money line is one of the easiest locks of the week for me.
I agree. I could not agree more.
Easiest locks of the
I
week.
have it written down actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
I love it.
I like the Bengals with the points as well. I think this is like the turning point where it's like, okay, Joe Burrow's now going to start feeling like Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase is going to start feeling like Jamar Chase. They're not I think they reach a point where it's like, okay, we're not fucking around anymore. And the Bengals are a playoff team, and playoff teams don't start out 0-3. So the Bengals, without a doubt, are going to win the game. Without
100%.
a doubt, I have zero doubts in my mind that the
It's
Bengals
gonna
are
be a
gonna win the game.
bad. It's gonna be a bad like.
They shouldn't have even lost week 1 to the Patriots after seeing what the Patriots did against the Jets. They shouldn't have lost that game.
No, they can't.
The
They
fact
came
that
out
they
lost.
did, it was.
It's
dog
not
shit
one of the
football.
bets that's going to win us a ton of money, but I'm going to hammer for that to be one of our top 3. Is Bengals just
Bingo.
money line?
Yeah,
just
bingo.
money line. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
love the 7-point spread. I gotta
No,
say, I
I'm-
don't love the 7-point
I'm
spread.
with you.
I don't have trust in the Commanders at all. Jaden Daniels on his first ever primetime game, though, I could see him rushing for 2 touchdowns because he's that good of a rushing quarterback. I don't think he's a great game manager. I wouldn't take any part of the Commanders' offense except him for rushing for touchdowns. And the Bengals' offense has not impressed me, but I think they are more than good enough to win this game.
There's a stat about rushing where it does lead me to believe, or a couple stats that lead me to believe that the Brian Robinson Jr., who is the starting running back for the Commanders, might have himself a hell of a game. All that does is persuade me to take the under. That doesn't persuade me to take the Commanders with the points. I still like the Bengals with the points.
I'm also taking the under.
Yeah, I got the Bengals with the points. I think the Bengals are going to win by 7 or more. I see this game possibly being just a wash. Bengals winning by 7.
Like
I
a
would-
20-13 game or some shit.
Yeah, but I would love to see the Bengals win
No.
by more than 7. I
Uh,
don't think this is going to get 47. I think 47 as a line is like a bait line. I think they're gonna score 35,
Yeah.
36
No,
points in this game.
the under is a virtual lock in this game. I'm on the same wavelength as you. So that's all the games. We're going to take a very quick intermission.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back. We're going to build out the parlay. After losing 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to make this 3-team parlay like it's the last thing on my agenda before I die. Like this is not going to lose. I don't care if we have to take some favorites with the money line.
Yeah.
It's going to win.
Even if if it only wins $150.
It's going to win. We're going to make some money.
Okay. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back with shots and ladders. It is time. We've gone through every single game for NFL Week 3 on Sunday. We broke down who we think is going to win with the points, who we think is going to win against the points, and the over and unders. But it's time to build a ladder parlay. Now, the way the ladder parlay works, this is the bread and butter. This is how Connor and I make our money. This is why we're in this beautiful garage that we're in. We make a 3-leg parlay. A nice, easy 3-leg parlay that's going to hit. We put 1 unit on it. 1 unit's $50. Then we make a 5-leg parlay. That 5-leg parlay includes the 3-leg parlay plus 2 more legs that we are extremely confident in. Then we make a 7-leg parlay. Same thing. 5-leg parlay that had already been made. Add 2 more legs. There's our 7-leg parlay. Now we're starting to make a lot of money. We hit that. We go to our 9-leg parlay. Legs 8 and 9. Same deal. It's the full 7-leg parlay plus legs 8 and 9. Now we're starting to make stupid money. Then we take this 9-leg parlay and we add 2 more legs. 10, 11. We make an 11-leg parlay, which is something that's normal for football fanatics, gambling fanatics. To make an 11-leg parlay is not weird, but we make it a little bit different. We make it in the ladder format where we're starting with the 3 and we're building our way up. This is how you make your NFL Sundays as exciting as possible. This is how you capitalize, how you make as much money as you can. We're going to start with building this ladder parlay with our first leg of the parlay. This leg right here, this little square. Weeks 1 and 2, we're going to be honest. That little square was the square that did us in. We had
Fucked
Colts.
us over. It fucked us over bad.
It did us dirty. We had Colts with the spread last week. The week before that, we had Panthers with the spread. But we've got eyes on the field. We've got eyes on the tape. We've got eyes on the matchups. We know what's going to happen. We know. And I'm going to make this executive decision.
Let's hear it.
We know that the Buccaneers are not going to lose. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to lose.
I love it.
Denver
Bucks money
Broncos.
line. Bucks money line. I'm 100% in on that.
Are you?
100%. I'm 100% confident to put that in the bottom three.
Okay. We've run into an unfortunate circumstance where I don't know where the market went.
What the fuck? It was right there. I swear you just wrote with it.
Janie Louise Dobson. She's the Ravens fan that we've been talking about all day. Honey, the camera's right there. If you want to look at that guy.
Oh.
Now, our first leg of our ladder bet parlay, okay, is our ladder. This is what we're most certain is going to happen. We know that this 3-leg is going to hit, and that 3-leg parlay is going to pay for the rest of the legs of the parlay, okay? Our first leg of that parlay is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Denver Broncos.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, they're hot.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are hot.
Yeah, Chris Godwin, looking sweet. He's like number 2 receiver. Like,
Why you 2 C's?
Because Bucks is 2 C's. Buccaneers is written with 2 C's.
When you're abbreviating it. Okay. So what I'm thinking here is for building the bottom line of this parlay.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to just win some money this week. We had a rough 2 first weeks. This is going to be a positive week. In my mind, I want to do the 2 money lines we're most confident in, and then one other bet that's like a 50-50 bet that we're most confident in.
You thinking an over-under?
I am.
I like it. I think it's dirty, and I like it. So let's go with the other money line that we're most confident in. I've got a couple of them,
It's
but
between 2 for me. Niners, money line.
yep.
That's one of them. And Cincinnati, money line. Those are the 2 that I'm most confident in.
My problem with Cincinnati is I don't want to wait till Monday night.
Okay, if you're not waiting till Monday night, it's the Niners. For sure.
Niners money line versus the Rams.
Yeah. Rams are too banged up. They only
Yeah.
have Kyron Williams. You do Niners money line as our second money line, and then we do 1 over under, which I have one in mind that it's guaranteed to hit.
How do you feel
You
about
tell me that the Browns
I
and Giants
like it.
are not going to go under
like it.
38.5 or 38.
We're losing our celebrity guest picker, Janie Dobson. But how do you feel about, I just want to hear an opinion, Seahawks money line over the Dolphins starting Skylar Thompson? Because you're going to get better odds with the Seahawks that are minus 4.5 than you're going to get with the Niners who are minus 6.5. You're going to get more money.
I love the Seahawks money line.
Okay.
But there's a better chance that the Dolphins beat them because the Dolphins roster as a whole is better than the Seahawks roster. I don't want to throw the. I do not want the Seahawks money line in my.
You
bottom
want to
3.
for sure win.
I want to for sure win.
For sure.
Because I'm tired of losing in my bottom 3 because we're making some dumbass predictions that should come true and they're not.
Okay.
This bottom 3 is going to be a guaranteed win, and I will stake my life on it. This is going to happen.
Bengals money line.
Bengals money line or what was the other one? Niners money line. But I'm down.
Oh no, let's go Niners.
I like Niners versus the Rams. The Rams are too beat up. The Niners money line is just free money right now. That is free money.
Okay. Third leg of the parlay, we're going to go
This
with
is where I want
over-under.
to do the over-under. So we get some odds on this, and we win it.
Yep.
My favorite over-under of the entire weekend is Browns-Giants under 38.
I love that.
That's my.
I love
that's
it
my
so-
favorite one.
I love it so much that I hate it.
Don't say that.
I do.
Just love
it's
it and
so
put
good.
it on there. Put
It's-
it on there.
No, it's so good that it can't.
Okay.
It's
So
too
the
good.
only other over-unders that I absolutely love, or the only other bets that I absolutely love, is Texans -1.5, which the Vikings are a scary team, which is why I'm
No,
scared
give
to
me
put
an
them on
over
there.
under. Give me an over.
An over-under besides that one.
That one's too good to be true.
Texans Vikings over 46. But I love, dude, the Browns Giants is the move. The Browns Giants under 38 is a guaranteed lock.
You think?
Guaranteed lock. Do you
Flat
see
bet.
do you see the Giants ever in your I don't see the Giants scoring more than 10 points.
Okay.
I think this game's going to end 15-10.
We have Chicago at
What game are you talking about? That wasn't any of the games we talked about.
by Chicago. I meant
You meant Cleveland
Cleveland. That's
Cleveland.
what I meant.
versus New York Giants. Under 38.
I like that.
That
Okay.
feels like an absolute lock to me.
Okay.
Because we both picked the Giants to cover a 6.5 point spread. But here's the thing: if they don't cover that 6.5 point spread, they're only going to score 6 points.
Okay.
Either we win that bet or win this, and I'm honestly more rooting for that.
Okay.
This is going to hit right there, guaranteed.
Why don't you work that up? Start placing that parlay. No?
We'll wait till we place all of them and then we do them.
Okay.
Right?
We can do
Do
it
you like
that way.
that?
I think it'd be easy for you to place a Bucks money line, Niners money line, Cleveland, New York Giants under parlay, and give me the odds. Give me the money. We want to bet 1 unit on this, and 1 unit for us is $50. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep. No, you're good. Okay. We're still figuring this shit out. We're good. Okay. So we're going Bucks money line, Niners money line. Browns.
I do see how it's in. This is one of my favorite. I mean, I have it written at the top of my list. Giants Browns under.
It's
just
that
so-
it
it's so
feels
good.
it feels like there's no way that it loses.
That's why I hate it. But
Under 38.
I'm with you. I think it's gonna win. I think it's gonna be a moneymaker.
Bucks money line. And then 49ers money line.
So we're betting 50.
Okay, $50 wins 123.
Okay. Let's keep in mind the entire ladder costs $93.
Yep.
So 50 wins 123. That pays for the entire ladder. The odds aren't as great as we've gone in the past, but that's
Because we're going money lines. We're actually
going
winning
money
this.
lines.
We're winning this.
We're
week.
winning this. Okay. Our next two ladders, our next two legs of the ladder, our next two rungs, if you will. I've already said it, but I like the Seahawks money line. I like the Bears Colts under 44. Those are my next two favorite bets.
I love the Seahawks money line. Love it. I'm 100% down to put that on there. The Bears Colts under, though, I don't love because I could see either of those offenses scoring 30 points. There's a chance that either one of them go off. Because that's the thing with the under bet is you have to know that both offenses aren't going to go off. With either one of those, that could 100%. Like, tell me you couldn't see that the Colts win 24-20.
I think when one offense
And then we're
goes
shot.
off and another offense doesn't, evidence was last night. Jets.
So I would
Patriots.
rather do a safe money line bet like that, and then one of the games we're both confident on, like let's say San
Chiefs.
Fran, LA Rams under 43, or Pittsburgh Chargers under 34.5.
I'm not super confident in that just because where the line's at. I'm really confident in the I'm confident in the Chiefs money line. I'm confident in the Packers +3. I'm confident in the Rams Niners under 43.
I love the Packers plus. I don't love the Packers +3. Huh. Wow, we're against each other on a lot of these here. So
Bengals,
I think we might
Commies.
need to do the 5 here as one that we're both confident in.
Okay.
Let's just do this an easy one. Let's make it an easy 5-team parlay.
Okay.
Let's do Bengals money line. Guaranteed if the 3 hits, the 5 hits. Because that's a guarantee. There's no way that the Bengals lose that game, right?
They're not going to lose that game. If the Bengals lose that game, I will be embarrassed for Joe Burrow.
Okay.
So let's
So
add Seattle
Cincinnati
money
and
line.
Seattle money line.
Cincinnati money line, Seattle money line. We're doing $25 on this bet.
Okay. We're betting 25
Yep.
to win 139.
Okay. We're not going for broke here. We're just making money. And we got to make it back after the way the books played us last week. That makes sense. We're making more than double than we're making from the 3-leg parlay.
Yep.
Okay, 6 and 7.
Next 2 that I'm most confident in. We were both on this. We were both on the page when we talked about it. Chiefs -3 versus the Falcons.
KC -3. Okay.
And then we're going to go Houston and Minnesota over 46. Unless you hate that. I think that both those offenses are good enough. I think both those defenses are bad enough. Over 46.
Okay.
Okay. For the next couple legs.
We're sleeping on the Chiefs +3 here, or Packers +3 here.
We're
Packers
not
being-
because I'm 100% on the Titans -3.
I hate it. Okay. Moving on.
Talk about one that we both love. Texans -1.5
In Minnesota.
in Minnesota. Houston -1.5. I think that's the next one just because we're both on it.
Okay.
The next one I'm the most confident in just because the offenses are so banged up. San Fran versus Rams under 43. Under 43.
Yeah.
San Fran versus LA Rams under 43. And then for the 11 leg, should we both pick the one that we're most confident in that we've not taken so far?
Let's do it.
Okay, which one are you most confident in?
Cardinals.
Okay, put it up there. Eagles +3. You pick one, I pick one for the last 11. I don't love the Cardinals +3.
Okay. So let's go. Let's see what our odds are. Kansas City, Houston over.
Okay,
We're going
give us
$10 on
give us
that.
2 seconds to calculate it. We'll be right back.
Okay, we're back. We calculated the odds for the ladder parlay. Here's what we're looking at. So we have 3-leg parlay. Bucks money line, Niners money line, Cleveland under 38 versus the New York Giants. Now it is a little bit more of a conservative 3-leg parlay, but what we do with this is we bet $50 and we win $178. That pays for the other $43 that we're going to bet on this entire parlay. Now, we go to legs 4 and 5. Seattle money line. Cincinnati money line. $25. Now, this includes these 3 legs plus these 2 legs. It's a 5-leg parlay. $25 wins $168. We're in good profit here.
Oh, Wait, we got to cut
Why?
because we 100% fucked up something there.
No, we didn't. I just calculated it all on draft.
So a 3-leg parlay wins 178, but 2 more legs wins 168.
With shit odds and half of it being cut in half of the
Oh
risk.
fuck! Oh yep,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. God damn it, dude. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm fucked up right now, bro.
It's all good, man.
Okay, cool.
So then, 5 leg hits. We hit another $168 in the pocket. Then we move on to our 6 leg, 7 leg. We're only putting $10 on this one because now we're getting into the improbability factor. We're starting to actually make some serious money here. We only put $10 to win $241 on the Kansas City Chiefs covering the spread of 3 points. Kansas City winning by more than 3, and the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings going over 46 points. Move on from 6, 7 leg parlay onto the 8 and 9 leg parlay. We have the Houston Texans winning by more than 1.5, and the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams going under 43 points. The injuries in that game make it a very obvious choice, but we still only bet $5 and we win $415. That's rent. We're at rent at that point. We're at car payments. We're at rent. But it gets better. We're moving on from the 8 leg parlay to the 9, or from the 8, 9 leg parlay to the 10, 11 leg parlay. We have the Arizona Cardinals. This, in my opinion, is the easiest bet of the week. Buda Baker's going to run around. He's going to show the Lions how to do it. Cardinals are going to cover 3 points. Philadelphia Eagles are also going to cover 3 against the not the Atlanta Falcons. That's who they just played. Philadelphia Eagles are going to cover 3 points against the New Orleans Saints. And when all this hits, that bet $3 to win $853. We're going to bet a total of $93. We're going to win a total of $1,855. We keep doing this week in, week out. We start to figure it out a little more. We get a little more of these money lines out of the way, and we start betting spreads a little more often as we see the landscape of the NFL start to develop. That's where we're going to start hitting the $5,000 and $6,000 bets. But you know what? We're happy with week 3 hitting the $1,855 on DraftKings that you get with this ladder parlay. I'm extremely excited to watch it all unfold. I'm extremely excited to watch this all hit. But here's the deal, folks. The books have been kicking our ass. The books have been taking our name. The books have had their way with the public. We're going to stop it here. We are going to stop it here. We've got a foolproof ladder parlay. We're going to win some money. We're going to watch some good football. And week 3, NFL Sunday, is going to be one of the best days.
Let's win some goddamn money.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
I cannot wait.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's make some money. Go football.
Yep. We'll see you guys next time on Shots and Ladders. Every episode posted Saturday at noon Mountain Standard Time. This is us.
Checking out. Peace.